Is anyone else getting whiplash from Justin Trudeau? On Monday, we were in a state of emergency that required some of the most draconian policy Canadians have seen since the FLQ crisis in Quebec. Then a mere 46 hours later, we're rainbows and sunshine again. Emergency's over. Now, I have to admit, I was a little worried when the Emergency Measures Act was pushed through the House of Commons, but I wasn't surprised, especially considering Trudeau made this also a confidence vote. He effectively strong-armed not just his MPs, but the NDP MPs as well into giving him exactly what he wanted: unfettered power and the ability to crush his opponents. Now, when I think of state of emergency, what typically comes to mind is a horrible natural disaster or even war. A bunch of peaceful protesters and bouncy castles isn't even on that same level. Clearly, the Canadian Senate didn't think so either. I was a little bit worried that the Senate would just casually go along with Trudeau's ambitions, but after watching just a few minutes of senatorial debate, we knew this wasn't going to pass. And I think Trudeau knew this too, as he sheepishly, with white knuckles, announced that the emergency was over before the Senate had even cast their vote. And Trudeau also announced that within 60 days there will be an inquiry as to why the act was invoked in the first place. And I think we can answer that fairly easily. Questions like, how did we get here? Well, Trudeau's language and disdain for people who don't agree with him. Why was it required? Trudeau's ego was hurt. Why did the police go to that level? Trudeau wanted to crush dissent. I mean, really, all the committee needs is a floor-length mirror and to prop Trudeau up in front of it, and they'll have all their answers. You can't belittle, demonize, question whether a certain group of people should be tolerated, and then call everyone you don't agree with a racist without expecting some form of backlash. But by using a sledgehammer to crush those protesting against him only showed that this was not a public emergency. It was a personal one. His approval rating isn't just tanking, it is drowning. He let his true colors show and the whole world got a front row seat. The once king of wokeness is now an international laughingstock. Everyone, and I mean everyone, knew that the Emergency Act was not needed. We knew police and lawmakers had the tools to keep order, and we knew this was never an emergency that warranted freezing bank accounts, assets, and police brutality. Now, Trudeau can come out with doe eyes saying that we have a lot of healing to do, but first he has to admit that he is the one that has caused the bulk of the trauma. You don't get to say whoopsies when it comes to this. Lauren Gunter said it best. Only a conniving, dissembling, insincere political plotter could pull that off with a straight face. And I really don't see how Trudeau can come back from this. He's completely cheapened our political system and our constitutional rights. This isn't something Canadians will easily forget. Sitting back saying oops after attempting to gain ultimate power and crushing anyone who doesn't agree with you doesn't just prove Trudeau's incompetence, it also makes him my Ducker of the Week.